Since the dawn of time, man has been curious. And for almost as long, the Vibes Broadcast Network has sought the truth. Investigate, discuss, explore. Okay, maybe in other episodes, but this one is just listen to the vibes.
The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes Broadcast Network. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I have here Miss Janese Recolan, and she is a Samoan. No, excuse me. Tell me again.
Hawaiian.
It's Hawaiian, but it's a
Kahuna.
Wisdom Keeper. Okay, I got that.
Yep.
I think I got it right now.
You got it.
But anyway, now seriously, we're going to find out a little bit about Janese today and find out exactly what a Kahuna Wisdom Keeper is and what that entails. So let's kick this off by tell us a little bit about you.
Hi everyone. Hi, thank you for having me on the show. This is amazing. So first of all, yes, my name is Janese, and I am the Kahuna Wisdom Keeper, which means in Hawaii, in my culture, it means someone who is like a priestess, a shaman, someone who has spiritual knowledge. So this Kahuna, what I chose for my title is because it comes from my generation, it comes from my lineage, it got passed down to me from my mother, from my grandfather, from my great-grandmother. So it's part of who I am, is my birthright. So what I do is I take the spiritual coaching and energy work and clairvoyant guidance, and I blend that all together. And then what I do is I help women transform like their ancestral karmic baggage that's being passed down from their ancestral lineage and reclaiming their power and standing in their worthiness with confidence and ease.
So that's something you have to be born into or chosen for, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, just not anybody can go up and say, oh, this is what I want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Back in the day, yes. You were chosen, and that was part of your lineage and your line. And then you pass that knowledge down into the next generation, Yeah.
Now, as I explained to you before we got started, I'm not very knowledgeable in Hawaiian heritage, but I have been curious, and I want to know what is I guess your thoughts and your feelings on the chakras and things like that. And is it something that that you teach?
Yes. Yes, I teach. I teach more so because chakras and energy, they're all related.
Mm-hmm.
Energy field. So I focus on more so the energetics and the energy because around us, around our body, we have this energetic field. And in this energetic field, it's like you would think of it like it's a sponge. So you walk around your life and you're soaking up all this information from in the world and from lifetimes and from childhood, and you take that into your chakras and then into your body, and then you hold on to that, and then you start to manifest and project out your reality. That's how you create your life. And then you start to form beliefs, you start to form thought patterns, you start to form emotions around that. So.
Now, I'm going to assume that before like Americans came into Hawaii and kind of take over, that the things that you teach, y'all didn't know any of the stuff that was being taught like here in America or over in I don't know, in Asia and different places like that. So to me, that just kind of proves that there's got to be some truth to all this. If y'all didn't know but you had this wisdom.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna tell you a little cultural history about the Hawaiian people. So we are very spiritually connected. We believe that we are connected to everything, source, energy, universe, whatever you believe in, right? But what happened was in our culture in 1905, when the United States territory came in and took over the Hawaiian Islands and we became the United States, they suppressed the Hawaiian culture, the Hawaiian language, the dancing, the singing, the spiritual practice. So it got suppressed. And because of this suppression, it put a lot of the Hawaiians, local people, in fear and suppression. And so you hold on to that, and then you got generations of fear, suppression getting passed down and getting passed down. Same thing as like Cherokee Indians or Native Americans or any of that same suppression, that same energy gets dampened, but that can cause you to not fully be yourself, not your authentic self, not in that direct alignment there.
So the Western influence, do you feel like that's kind of, I guess, taking the younger generations a little bit further from that lineage and the heritage and that knowledge?
Yes.
And
yes.
Too much of the music and the fashion and
it's more they don't have that guidance. They don't have that leader in their family that can show them that that's who they are. And then of course you got all this other stuff, because we got to live in the present moment. We can't live in the past, right? So we have to blend the past and the present so that we can move on. But then if we just only one side, then we're off balance. Then there's no harmony.
Yeah, but you'd say you're probably a little more old-fashioned when it comes to what you do, huh?
Not really.
Not really?
No, I wouldn't say I'm kind of, if I have to, I have to. Like, yes, I go on Google and get my answers if I need to. And I use Google if I need to. Like, if something's happening with me, I'll go Google it, even though I can sit down in meditation and get my own answers. But it's also nice to, like, but it's using the Western, it's nothing bad about the Western. It's how you use it, like anything else. It's how you want to use it in your life. Yeah. And that's your choice. That's your choice, how to create your reality or create your own inner authority.
Right. Well, I know, like, I mean, I'm a kid from the 70s, and my teenage years was the 80s, but I was growing up like around my grandparents, and so I picked up a lot of their values and traditions and things, and but I also, I mean, I was that kid that liked the rock and roll and heavy metal and all that kind of stuff, but I like the old fashioned stuff.
Yes.
I still do, like when it comes to country music, I don't like today's country. I like the old stuff, the Buck Owens and Hank Williams Sr. and all that. I feel like we're getting further and further away from those traditions and things.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to see it come back, but
that's
the way life is, right?
Well, for me, that I would love to see that as well, because growing up myself, like, my family has very strong core family values as far as like how to treat people and respect. Like, those are the basic foundations right there that we all need as humans. And I think that's where we got lost, and that's where we're kind of going away, and everything just been so immediate gratification now. Yeah, that it's so easy. So that get taken over of like having something and actually respecting that. And the Hawaiian culture is so beautiful because we have so much respect for our people, for our culture, for our lives. But then sometimes when the suppression, that fear is so inundated in us because it's got passed down through generations, it's really hard to get down to that root until you start to transform that and clearing and healing those layers. So like for me, like I still have those deep rooted roots about my family and what my family taught me that I passed down to my son, and he's all about like, video games and all that stuff, but still how he treats people, that's all I care about, who he is and how he's going to show up in the world.
That's what I appreciate about my kids. My daughter, she has two boys, and she's taken a lot of that. And she was raised around my grandparents quite a bit too, and so she picked up on those values, and she's instilling that in her kids to teach them to respect people.
Absolutely.
You don't have to agree with something somebody else is doing, but you can still respect them.
Absolutely.
And I think the mentality nowadays, it's taking away from that respect.
Yeah, it is, because it's all about me. What do I get? What's in it for me? You know what I mean? It's not, we can't operate like that. That is shortcoming, not just for you, but also for the other person. But however, there is, like, on a bigger sense, like if I look at it like from a spiritual sense, there are agreements why that is happening, because there's lessons there, but yeah, we just have to learn those lessons and move on. But the really root to it being connected is just having that respect, but coming from that respect of respecting yourself first. And from that space, then you can respect others. But if you don't respect yourself and value yourself, then there's no way in hell that you're going to get that from anyone else.
But it's funny because, and I don't spend a lot of time on like TikTok and stuff like that. I still use it as a platform to promote the show, but I don't really spend that time on it, because you see these, especially the kids, they get on and they want you to automatically, respect them and all this stuff. But the way they look and take care of themselves, they don't even have respect for themselves. So how am I supposed to have respect for you? And if you're not going to show respect to me, how am I supposed to show respect back?
Exactly. And that's the old school right there. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to give you respect if you show respect back in return. We just don't just give it, you earn that. Exactly. And it's all about that. And that's kind of how I live my life, is like, I'll give everyone the opportunity to show who they really truly are. But then as soon as that happens, you know what I mean?
I know exactly
I'm not
what
gonna
you mean.
waste my time. But that takes, like, I'm like, what, 40 something years old. So it takes like years of just like going through that, and they're 20s or whatnot. But if you can, like, teach your children at such a young age, they will always have that, and they will just build on that as a foundation as who they are. And that will never change. Like, who they are on a soul level, that will never change, but everything else can change and, revolve.
And the mentality nowadays is like the everybody feels like the world owes them something. And that's, that's not what I was taught. You worked for what you wanted. And another thing is that, part of my my family tradition was Christianity, which, we were taught to be servants basically to other people, not a slave. I'm talking to, you help your neighbors, if a storm comes through and the tree gets knocked down in your yard, then as soon as the storm's over, you're out there, you're helping them cut up the tree and haul it off. If somebody's,
I miss that.
Yeah, exactly.
I miss that. I really miss that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like coming from a place of unconditional. And that's what Christianity is about. It's coming from an unconditional space of, like, not manipulating or trying to get what you want on. Oh, I'll help you because I want to get this out of you. Like, no, you just go there and you help because you see someone struggling. That's it. That's all. And you walk away and you go do your life. That's it. Done. And it's funny because, it reminds me of a story. The other day I was working in town and I was like doing on my laptop. I was at a coffee shop. A lady walked up to me. She's visiting and she asked where a location was. And I told her where it was. It was up the street. And then I go, oh, do you have a car? She goes, no, I'm on foot. And she was an older lady. And I go, okay. So I packed up my stuff. I go, come on, I'll take you. She goes, no, you're working. I go, yeah, but I don't want you to walk in the sun. So jumped in the car. Her face was just like, wait, is this really happening? I go, yeah, it's really happening. Get in the car. So I just told her, just get in. I'm not, you know what I mean? And she left and I dropped her off where she needed to go and then just continue my life. But that's to me right there was the best thing that I could have done, not just for her, but also for myself. Just
Well,
doing it for
yes.
myself and just, for other people. And then that like has a ripple effect. I don't know if I'm ever going to see this lady again, but I bet, you know what? She's probably going to have a better day because of that. That's it.
Well, sometimes I feel like when you do something for someone else, then that inspires them to do something good for somebody else.
Exactly.
And that just
That's
adds
the
to
energy.
it adds to
Mhm.
your karma bank, I guess you'd say.
Yes, your karma bank. I love it. Yeah, exactly. You never know what's going to happen. You really don't know what's going to happen. And then I think later on that day, I got a phone call from someone. It was like a really cool phone call. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I never expected it. Like came out of the blue, and who would have known? I don't know. All we do is like be here of service for others,
Yeah. Feed them someone when they're hungry, and give them shelter when they need shelter. Lend a helping hand when you can.
Right. Give them a hug if they need a hug. Like, you know what I mean?
I know. It's like going to the store. I've told this story 100 times, but when I go to the store, I don't like those self-checkout things. I like to go to the checker and then, say, hey, how you doing today? And that could be the difference between, someone being down and you giving them some kind of words of encouragement that maybe keeping them from going home and doing something stupid. You never know.
I get that all the time. I get responses like that from my clients all the time, and they tell me all the time, before I worked with you, I was depressed. I didn't want to leave the house. I couldn't even barely take care of my kids. Like it was like that bad. And then like after working with me, they like changed their life around. Like I had no clue. I have no clue what's going on in their life unless they want to share that. But but just to hear those kinds of stories is like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, my point of all this conversation is it seems like we're taught a lot of the same things. So, in my spiritual journey, these are the things that I've learned. And I'm curious as to, how do you meditate?
I went to a spiritual development school and they taught us clairvoyance. So I do clairvoyant meditations. So what that is, and it helps with me because I'm an empath, I can feel everything. What it does, it helps me turn down those sensitivities and come up to my sixth chakra, which is my clairvoyant, and be able to see the energy without feeling the energy and the emotions of that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I believe I told you before we started, I'm a paranormal investigator and my wife as well. And so I've just been learning about all that stuff for the last 6 or 7 years. And she's a lot more into it than myself, but once again, my curiosity. So your chakras, going through each one and building them up, I'm assuming you're trying to get people to a higher frequency.
Yeah, well, want you to be in a higher frequency. So we operate on a level of frequency, and that's what we do our day-to-day operation. And all of this is like subconscious. So we could be operating, you see it all the time, people living constantly in survival or lack. That's an energy frequency, right? But when you start to meditate and you let go all of those blocks that's keeping you in survival and lack, then you can raise your frequency in your body. And it also shifts the energy in your energy field and your chakras so that you can come up to a higher state.
Now, I personally have not used them, but do y'all use any kind of psilocybin for what you do?
What?
Psilocybin, it's like hallucinogenic, like plants and things like that. No, it's all natural.
Yep. Yes, it's kind of like the same thing like ayahuasca or any of that kind of stuff. But no, I never used any of that. In my training, we've learned we have tools that we learn, like grounding, bringing back your energy, using a protective shield. And we use these tools, energetic tools, to bring awareness of what you're doing and how you're using your energy. And so you want to be conscious of how you're using your energy and what you're doing with your energy. So we learned how to know what your energy is and what it feels like, and know what the external world is and what's influencing your energy. Because as I said earlier, we have this energetic field, and a lot of times external circumstances can influence what's going on inside of you. So the clairvoyant training taught us how to become aware of that when we are affected by the external circumstances and not be taken away from that. So we have like tools that we learn.
So I guess the way the world is now, it must make things pretty difficult.
Makes it so easier that I have these tools. Actually, it's the opposite, because I'm not affected in what's going on in the world. I can separate myself from that.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's something that I need to learn to do. Unfortunately, with what I do, I have to kind of keep up with the way things are. And I try to bring people on that can better steer people in the right direction. I'm a student of all this as well. I just know I want people to know that there's alternatives on how to raise your vibration and become more spiritually aware. And I see somewhat of a push towards more spirituality, but I also see the darker side of it, where people trying to push that kind of stuff out. So
yes.
I mean, how do y'all deal with that?
As I said earlier, it's all about you knowing what your energy is and what your frequency is. When you know that, and you can bring your energy level up and your frequency level up, you can also heal the body. So I've healed so many things, like I've had sleeping problems and I no longer have them anymore without medication or any of that, just meditating and healing myself, healing my body by bringing my energy frequency up. I've had migraine headaches. It's like severely migraine headaches. I would like stay in the closet for days. I couldn't come out. And I had like severe, like to the point of depression. And I pulled myself out of that because of meditation, because we've learned to know and understand what is going on within us.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here, then versus, because we are programmed, we are taught to focus all of our energy and attention on everything else outside of you. What's going on here, what's going on, and we're not taught to focus our energy and self-care, what's going on inside of here correctly.
Yeah.
So the meditations that I teach and the meditation I was taught to focus here. Because when you can focus here, you get to shift it here and your external reality changes. For an example, when I first started learning this, and this was like 2010, I was working for a company. I should do sales, and every day my manager was such a douche. He would always get on me and be like, why didn't you sell this guy? What happened? What was wrong with you? Da, 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 da. Oh, like literally, like made me feel really bad. And so I started learning these tools. And one of the tools I learned was a separation tool. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play with this. I'm going to see how this tool works. I'm going to just play. And when I did that, I put the separation rose out in front of me, and he came walking towards me just like he would every day so he can give me hell. I put it up and he hit the rose and he fell and he walked away.
Oh, wow.
That's how powerful the energy was, that he couldn't come to me. Ever since then, he stopped talking to me. I changed it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and the next thing I was going to ask you about was the for people with mental problems. And you answer that. And the only example I can really give is myself. So forgive me if I seem like I'm just talking about myself here, no. But I have a problem with depression and anxiety and PTSD from something that happened to me as a child. And to get into crowds and things like that would cause me high anxiety. And when I learned to meditate, I found myself getting off these medications that I was given because they honestly they seem like some of them do the opposite of what they're
They're
supposed to do.
band-aids.
Some of
They're
it's
band-aids.
band-aids, and some of it just stops working altogether.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
need alternatives.
Definitely. Yeah. I was on Ambien for a long time. I've even checked myself into a therapy ward because I was like, I thought something was wrong with me. And then like I did therapy for a long time. There's a lot of things that I did. And now I can be out in people and be around crowds and be okay because my trauma was I came in with a karmic mother wound. So I had to heal my relationship between my mother and I within me. And so this practice and my Kahuna teachings has helped me heal that relationship with my mother, that now my mother and I have a beautiful relationship.
That's wonderful.
And I don't have anxiety anymore or any of that because I healed that. That's where the depression and anxiety came from, was from that past trauma with my mom.
Wow. Yeah. For me, if I meditate before I go somewhere and I can convince myself that everything's going to be fine, if things get a little out of hand, and if I have my wife or my daughter with me, I can focus on them, and they have a way of helping me as well. But yeah, if you have, any advice for anyone out there, say they don't have someone to go with them and they're going to get into a stressful situation, I'd like to steer them your direction so they can learn those methods.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The first thing you can do is when that starts to, you feel it coming on, the best thing for yourself is to step away and find grounding. Go hug a tree. Take off your shoes and walk barefoot. Like get rooted and grounded back in your body, because what's happening actually is you're leaving your body spiritually. So you're disconnecting from your body. So then your body is like, oh, where are you going? Like it gets into this panic state because your spirit's leaving. So, and you're used to leaving because there's some kind of trauma that happened in the past that disconnected you from your body. And so you're working to bring harmony from your spirit in your body. So when those things happen, that's what's happening. You're leaving the body and your body goes into this trauma state. So in order to, you have to talk through with your body, because your body doesn't know the difference that the trauma happened before or the trauma happened now. It doesn't know the difference, but your spirit knows. So it's your job to not let the body take control and take over what's going on, but let your spirit take over and help you. So hugging a tree, going barefoot, or, you can't talk with a friend, but yeah, just taking a step back and just calming your body down, whatever that may be,
Well, I told you before we started that the river and putting my feet in the water, that's what helps to ground me. And, and I know people are like, oh yeah, a bunch of tree huggers. No, actually you can give your energy to the plants and nature, and you can feel the energy of the earth in your feet if you just give it a chance. And I know people are going to probably say, oh, that's, a bunch of mumbo jumbo, voodoo stuff or whatever. But I tell you, and I'm one of those people that I have to experience something or see something to believe it. I could feel it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Before I started doing all of this healing stuff, I used to laugh about it actually. And how I got started was I was at work, I was leaving one day, and I was like, there was a health fair, and in the health fair, this lady was giving aura healings. And I was like, she's crazy. I don't want to go have nothing to do with her. She's crazy. So, but you know what? I ended up getting one from her. I sat in front of her. I got one. She goes, do you want a healing? And I was like, okay. She gave me a healing and she asked me how it was it. And I was like, what did you do to me, lady? And she goes, well, because we hold on to energy. I helped you clear your energy fields anywhere that's you've been stuck or holding on to. And she goes, how do you feel? I feel amazing. I feel so light and so free. And I was like, oh my God, I need this in my life. And then when I was going through my healing journey and I started learning the tools, I realized what was trying to stop me was my ancestors of past trying to protect me and be like, no, she's crazy, stay away, because of that suppression, that fear from when back in 1905. So yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I feel that, and I know there's going to be people that don't feel the same way, but I don't think that that our Christian Bible is complete, because I really believe a lot of this was taught back then.
Oh yeah,
because it works, and I
yes,
feel
it does.
I feel
Oh,
closer
yeah.
to God when I'm in this this state.
Yeah, the teachings of Mary Magdalene, actually.
Well, and I've gotten like the Book of Enoch, which is not in the Bible. It was left out, and you find some pretty interesting stuff in there.
Oh, I bet. I read this book about Mary Magdalene and her story. And I was in Europe, actually, and we were doing a lot of energy work with the Christ energy and bringing in that and the teachings of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ and all that kind of stuff. So it was really crazy, really cool, because that's what they were teaching.
Yeah. What feeling do you get when you're getting that connection? Because I know if I'm getting a connection, say from someone with abilities, I get butterflies in my stomach, and it's, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just that.
Oh, that's cool.
That feeling, almost like when you're dating someone for the first time and you get those butterflies in your stomach. That's the feeling I get. What do you feel anything like that?
No, I don't. I you know what I'm gonna say, before we got on the call, I felt butterflies, but I was like, these are not my energy. This is not my energy. Where's this energy coming from? Now I know why. It was you.
It's my fault.
It's okay. But that's kind of how, like, I don't know that it's like someone who's spiritual, but when I meet someone, I always see it as like, there's a reason why I'm talking to them. There's something there, because I wouldn't be put in front of someone's life if there wasn't something there for me. And that's just how it works. And so if not, then they won't come, because my energy frequency and level is really high. Mm-hmm. So someone's going to have to match that. And if your frequency is vibrating at a lower energy level, you won't be able to come and see me.
Okay, so I want to ask you about your use of talismans, because for myself, I use runes. My wife has crystals and things like that. So do y'all use talismans, and which ones do you use?
I don't use talismans because I'm clairvoyant. So I just kind of go in and I talk to spirit and blah, blah, blah. But I also do use pendulums just for like validation of what I see. Like I write down in journals and I have visions and and I get information from spirit, things that I need to do. I don't even know why I need to do, but I got to go do them. So I do them, so I follow. I'm very completely intuitive and guided with that. And then sometimes I will use like sometimes I'll be like, is that really what you want me to do? Like, really? And then I'll grab my pendulum and be like, all right, let's double check this, so I'll double check it with my pendulum and that, but that's pretty much all I got.
Okay. You definitely need to talk to my wife, because she's really into the pendulums and stuff. I give her a hard time. I say, you're the one that's moving that thing.
Yeah, I know, sometimes not. Yeah. So, but I like to, because I like to get my own information and sit in meditation and open myself up to my own information and get what needs to come in and come through, be an open channel. And then whatever comes in, and, and then I'll deal with that however it may so fit. Like there's many times like I'll go do something and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. And I'll sit there and then all of a sudden someone will show up and sit next to me. And I was like, oh, I know, I was supposed to talk to you. And then like I went into this jewelry store the other day and the lady I was supposed to see wasn't in there.
Oh my goodness.
So another lady was in there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right, I'll talk to her. And then all of a sudden I had to leave. She goes, I have to make an appointment. I left. And then all of a sudden my phone didn't work. So I had to go back to see if I can make an appointment. So when I went back, the lady tells me, oh, I've had cancer 4 times and it came back to me, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I get this calling spirit, you need to heal her. You need to do energy work on her. So I go, would you like me to give you a healing? Would you like a healing? And she goes, yes. Oh my God, I've been praying for someone like you. I've been looking for someone like you. You don't even know. She started crying, even though before I started doing the healing. And I did the healing on her, and you know what I mean? That's it. Like, I don't know. I was going in the jewelry shop doing my thing. You like
Now, do you your healings and things, do you have to have the person physically in front of you, or can you do it remotely?
Yeah, I can do it right now with you if you want. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, sure, I would love to.
Yep. On your show or after?
Hey, why not? Why not?
Okay. All
like
right. Give me a
people to see-
moment.
like to see people see what you do.
Sure. Go ahead and give me your full birth name 3 times, please.
You want me to say it out loud?
3 times.
All right, it's Kyle Wesley Yates. Kyle Wesley Yates. Kyle Wesley Yates.
Hi, Kyle. All right. I see you. Ooh, you're an old soul.
I've been told.
Very old. Ooh. Wow, you got a lot. You're very rooted to the planet, and you're really here to bring in, just really anchor this sucking thing in. So that's what you're doing. That's your purpose. I'm helping you right now remove some energy from like your lower chakras, like your first, second, third. It's like some pain.
Yes.
Like an injury or some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looks like that injury. Some stuck energy in that injury. Oh, there you go. Oh, that injury was a long time ago too. So looks like your little boy, that was him. He was hurt. He was still in that pain. So I'm just helping him process the pain. You know, he doesn't need to hold on to that. Because for whatever reasons at that time, he just felt that his needs wasn't being met. There you go. What are you noticing, Kyle? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a tingling, believe it or not.
Yep. I'm working back there. There you go. Moving your father out. Looks like he's been like a very big, heavy presence for you.
Wow.
Really heavy. So I'm moving him out. I know he doesn't have a body anymore. He has a message. You did not talk to him.
To say the least.
That's what it looks like. Now that he has gone to the other side and processed his life, he now can see you for who you are. He couldn't when he was in the body. He couldn't see you. And that's part of the pain that you have, not being seen correctly. There you go. So he says he's sorry for that. He sees you now. There you go. Ooh, that's a nice pressure coming off now. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling my butterflies.
Good. Looks like he's going to help you in some way, your father, now that he's on. Now he's there. That's cool. And just kind of bringing you in, feeling you in, feeling you in. Oh, your frequency is coming up. You were at this blue when I first started, and now you're coming up to a really nice green.
Wow.
There's just so much space and openness around you and around your energy field. Like this expansion from the inside is like opening up.
It's almost like I can feel the butterflies moving up my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what's happening, actually. Okay. There you go. All right. Maybe the blessings of Great Spirit, your healing's complete. Amen.
Well, now you didn't know anything about me when we've met. I haven't told you about it's a disease in my spine. It's making the bones deteriorate, and it's almost like when you walk into a cave and you see the stalactites and stalagmites. That's the way my bones look, and it's destroying my what you call it, the discs.
Yes.
And so I've actually had the first surgery at the very lowest part of my vertebrae, and it's moved, so they're gonna have to probably go in and do another one. But yeah, my father passed away in 1997, and I'm actually 5 years older than what he would have, when he was when he died. And anyway, he used to touch me in an inappropriate way when I was a child. So to think that he was still lingering around, I figured he would have left me a long time ago.
No. So your bones is connected. What's happened to that is connected with him because of that trauma you felt on in your body. So him now stepping on the other side, he's able to actually support you better. And he's sorry that, but now that he doesn't have the body and you got to release all of that, he wants to help you and support you through this.
Wow. That's incredible. You didn't know any of these things.
Nope.
Well, when soon as you said my father, I'm like, oh my God, really? How did she know?
No.
We have a friend who also works with us doing our paranormal investigations, and she is a medium. And she told me that, yes, I do have an old soul. And she told me a term that I'd never heard before, a godkin. And basically a lineage of like Thor.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
Really?
Yeah, that your energy was like this dark blue, like that's why I said you're like anchoring it in, like yeah.
And so I don't know if this would mean anything to you or not, but I actually have runes tattooed
Yes.
on me for protection, and some of it's for prosperity and, you know, happiness and understanding and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. And I couldn't understand why I was so drawn to runes over the years, and you know, that Nordic heritage, the Nordic history and things. I don't know. I was just fascinated with it, and then
You
she
probably
told me
have a
why.
past life. Yeah, you probably have a past life in that.
Hmm.
But hey, whatever it is, you're pulling energy from that that's supporting you. That's awesome.
Wow. I'm kind of, I got goosebumps. That's pretty amazing.
That is.
Now, do you offer schooling, I guess, over Zoom or Skype
Yes.
or anything?
Yes. Over Zoom. So what I have is like one-on-one coaching. So I have like 6-month one-on-one coaching. I also do private like readings, so clairvoyant readings and energy work. So kind of similar to what I did with you today, but in a grander scale. That was just short. So that is like a 60-minute reading I do, and I go more in detail into, you know, all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how much do you charge for something like that?
Well, for reading for 60 minutes is $200.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yep. And you get a recording for it so you can listen to it later. So I read you like what I just did. I just read you, and then I help you bring that information and anchor it in your body. So I do energy work and helping you clear all of that so you can anchor all this new information in your body. And yeah.
Yeah, I want to stress, and you know, to each his own. You believe what you want. I just try to have an open mind. You know, I'm a pretty conservative person, very old fashioned person, but you know, I do keep an open mind, and you know, if there's alternative ways of healing or anything that can help you, I try to bring folks who know about these things to you, so you know that there's other options out there. So I also have to stress that you have to be careful, because there are charlatans out there that they're just out to take your money. You need to look for someone who's reputable, and so you do have a website, correct?
It's in maintenance mode right now, but you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
Janese Ululani or Janese Recolan on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. I can leave the links here.
And so you know, and I have a producer that helps me to find people, and I trust his judgment. And so I'm gonna say, why don't you give this a try? Look her up on Instagram, you know, reach out to her. I'm going to put the links to in the description, so you can at least talk to her. Okay. I
do offer a free gift.
Oh,
60
nice.
minutes. Yeah, it's a 60-minute of just calling and talking and identifying some of these baggages or these limitations that you have and that you're holding on to, so I can help you guide you to how you need to take care of that. So
yeah, well, I can tell you in my experience that I can tell personally, I can tell when someone is legit. And when I get that feeling in my stomach, I know you're connecting to me, so I know that you're legit. And I've been to those that are not. You know, you give me $50 and they just tell you what you want to hear. You know, oh, you're going to be rich, you're going to marry someone beautiful or handsome, and you know, you're going to have everything in your wildest dreams. And I'm like,
in the next 6 months.
Yeah, those are the ones you got to kind of look out for. But you need to know the signs. I can't tell you what they are for you. You just have to know. I can tell you this lady is legit. And I did not tell her nothing about myself before we got started. other than I told you that I had been trying to research my family history on the Cherokee side. But I recommend this lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
So right now it's just this social media that we can contact you.
Social media, and then on the social media, you can just reach out to me, message me, and I can send you my scheduler, and you can book a session with me. And if you want to do some more deep dive of working one-on-one in coaching, then we'll get on a call, and then I'll go over that call with you and what that looks like and whatnot. Because I'm very, I like to look at the energy first if it's going to be right for us to work together than just taking anybody. And I only take a limited of people, so I only work with 2 people a month because I want to be able to really support them in their journey and really get the best out of their journey. So I don't want to take a lot of clients. I just want to take, so the spots are very limited in those. So that's why we get on a call and I kind of see where you're at and how I can help you. And if it doesn't fit, then that's fine. You know, there's plenty of people out there that can, and I can help you in that direction, you know.
And so people know what we're talking about as far as the coaching goes. Can you kind of tell us real quickly what you help people with?
Yes. So in the 6 months, it's 101 where I help you break through your ancestral limitations. So it's broken down into 4 parts. So we will discover how to activate your sovereignty, and then also work with your female energy so that you can tap into your intuitive knowing and your intuitive guidance, and you can trust that more. And then we're going to start breaking some of the limitations around your family that's been passed down to you and transform that so that you can live a different life. Like you can have a whole different story now. So you're not living from the past of that story from where you were to where you are now as this empowered person moving forward. So.
Okay. And then that kind of helps in, I guess, gaining success in your life, whether it be spiritually, mentally, physically, everything.
Yeah. It helps not just your spiritual, it helps your mental, it helps your emotional, it helps your physical as well, you know, and it helps you like just really heal yourself from the inside out.
Okay. And I know there's going to be someone asking, how about financially? Can you kind of help people get, I guess, on the right track?
Yes, absolutely. I've had a client, actually, she's a single mom of 2. And she lived with her family, so she wanted to have a place with her kids. And so I helped her work around her money situation. And she came up with a memory that she suppressed, and it came up. And she remembered at the age of 5, her parents lost their home to like financial hardship. So because her parents lost their home, it had nothing, because it happened in her environment. She took it on energy wise. She took it on. She couldn't find a house for her kids. It was blocking her. So 7 months later, after we're done doing the work, 7 months later, she sends me a text. She sends me a text of a picture of her in front of the home with her 2 kids. And she's not working 2 jobs. She's working 1 job.
Wow. Now, do you work with past life regression?
I do too. I work past life, inner child work, Akashic records, the whole gamut.
Okay. And I've got to say this.
It's like a one-stop shop.
That's freaking awesome. I have done the past life regression before. It was on a friend of mine's show that I did it. And whether you believe it or not, it does help.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's psychosomatic, it helps. Okay. I believe it happened. And it's funny you mentioned a little boy, because that's what I went to in my past life regression as a child in the 1800s, and that I had gotten injured. I think I was playing in the street or crossing the street, what have you, and I got hit by a wagon. And anyway, the limitations were only physical growing up, but it helped me to realize some of the blocks that I had in my life to try to work on. And I'm still working on it. I have to admit, but it's funny that you said about the little boy and the injury. I'm like, good God, though, this has got to be real.
I never know what's gonna come out of my mouth. I just
Janese, thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Kyle.
for coming on. I really appreciate this. I hope we can stay in touch because
yes,
I'd like to talk to you more in the future.
absolutely.
And so
Anytime.
one more time before we go, how do people get in touch with you?
You can get a hold of me through my Facebook page, Janese Recolan. Just friend me, message me, and then I can talk with you, chit chat with you. Or I also do have an Instagram account. It's Janese_Ululani.
Ululani. Okay, how do you spell that?
ULULANI
Okay.
is my middle name.
I am going to put that in the description so people can just click on it and go to it. But
Yes.
I can't thank you enough. This has been enlightening.
Yeah. I thank you for having me on here. That's amazing. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. This was
You
a
just
joy.
bring it in.
Well, I'd like to also thank the folks out there. If this is your first time to the channel, I appreciate you stopping by, and please subscribe if you are a regular to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. It's because of you we do what we do. Let's help people out there. Let's start serving mankind like we should be instead of just serving ourselves. Don't forget yourself in the process, but let's help other people. So until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network